Today's reports indicate 4,662 new cases around the nation, only 10 within the prison population, and 36 new deaths within the past 24 hours, attributed to illnesses exacerbated by COVID. Bangkok business communities are demanding compensation for eateries and other businesses closed as of yesterday in an attempt to thwart the COVID spread in the capital. The government committed to paying half wages to construction workers, presumably only those legally registered and with work permits paying social security. But in response, we're told that the Prime Minister has stated that a budget of 7.5 billion baht has been approved to compensate building site workers along with operators of entertainment venues and restaurants in some 6 provinces. In Mae Sot region close to the border, more than half of the 850 Burmese and Thai staff in 3 factories tested positive, according to the local hospital that tested them at the weekend. Those infected have been transferred to quarantine centres as concern in the region has heightened about illegal immigrant workers still arriving here. Following delays in production, local drug maker AstraZeneca was said yesterday to be on track to supply vaccines around Southeast Asia and meet obligation to those countries signed up with them. It seems that Thailand itself will only receive 6 million doses this month, as they balance supplies to other countries too. Those 6 million would cover less than 10% of the nation's headcount if they're delivered. The company has a target of 180 million vaccines for the year. If that worked, well, it would be able to supply the whole country and still have excess for abroad. But they went on to say that only 33% of the total production is allocated for use here, some 60 million doses, which is still enough for half of Thailand to get both shots required. The health authorities nationally use either Astra or the Chinese manufactured shots, of which 10.5 million are said to have been delivered here already, and 27 million shots are said to be on back order. A conference of some 35 foreign chambers of commerce have published their desire to see non-Thais prioritised for vaccination, which without doubt will cause some resentment. Perhaps a better idea would be to have equal treatment, which would be fair. But the chairman, who noted that there are some 500,000 people here on business, along with 2 million family members, seems to go the whole hog. They did, though, make one good point, that the online registration programs only allow registration of non-Thais with work permits, which effectively excludes all others currently from registering. Despite policing, Thai sources reported that roads out of the capital were extra busy at the weekend and yesterday, with many pickups loaded up and fleeing ahead of the clampdown on worker camps. There were traffic jams in some areas as volume increased, and all headed away from the capital. This as several provinces have put a block on new arrivals, requiring that all at the very least quarantine for a few weeks. Nakhon Ratchasima is the latest province to close schools and ramp up testing after cases were discovered amongst people returning from Bangkok. Metered taxis will have legitimate competition very soon, as according to the Royal Gazette, private hires working through services such as Bolt and Grab will, subject to restrictions and conditions, soon be able to operate without hindrance and under the law. Trackers and correct insurance will be required, and vehicles will need to be registered through the Department of Land Transport before they can legally compete. In reality, of course, they've been operational for over 5 years, but always to the anger of metered taxi operators, who to date have had the monopoly on fares. Meanwhile, at home and in Pattaya, concern is rising after weekend raids found 5 people failing COVID tests at the then crowded police station. Over 100 people who were there at the time were potentially exposed and, under normal circumstances, would not show signs of the virus for quite a few days. The incident highlights the dangers of dense gatherings. Reports indicate that dozens of police on duty at the time have been put into home quarantine as a precaution. Sinkholes at sites where roadworks have been carried out for the Water Authority are, according to the authority, the responsibility of the contractors, who will be called in to repair them. The blame has been placed on soil erosion during storms, which is an indication that rather than using hardcore, sand has been used as a backfill, which obviously washes away quickly. Worries then that more holes will appear if that's the case. 8 people representing bar operators called on the Mayor's office yesterday to ask for support for bars to be allowed to open again by coincidence arriving on the same day that Banglamung reported one of its highest daily COVID counts, and after a weekend that saw the motorways full of Bangkok-registered vehicles heading for the city. The letter handed over will no doubt be handled with care by the Mayor's team. Chonburi province reported a total of 146 new COVID cases this morning, our own region of Banglamung reporting 13, Chonburi city itself 11, but Satahip 44. And Hissing Sid was less than innocent this week as a 14-foot python was extracted from a Nongprue home. Weighing in at over 70 pounds, a bulge within it is thought to contain a local cat, which disappeared just around the same time it was discovered. Experts removed him or her and have transported it safely to forest areas away from homes. And with the Met Office promising highs today of 31 dropping down to 27 and a hot and humid day. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme, like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below.